you wonder? And what subjects do you like? Why do you like those subjects? Do you think they're fun? Do you think they're interesting? And why? What makes you curious? What do you spend a majority of your day thinking about? What thoughts do you let run through your head?
And don't think right, like think on the page. Sorry, miss, but I'm seeing some like hands pause. Just pour out everything that's in your mind. Don't edit yourself.
Yes, and Miss, if this gets really personal, like when they post it to Seesaw, you said they can, like, say I like don't want the whole class to see my personal thoughts. Can I like block those out later?
You could just scribble the whole thing, just so we see you're there. This is for you.
What do you believe about yourself? What kind of person do you think you are? How do you feel about education? Like, what do you think of AJR? How do you feel about friendship or love? What do you believe about politics? Or like society? What do you believe about science? And you can keep writing, but thinking about all these things, like outside of the circle map, we have the frame of reference. So what are metaphors or symbols you can use, like physical objects that represent the things that you've written down? Like, are there artworks that you can use? Are there photos? Are there books or like letters? Or some quotes that have really put into words how you like what you believe?
I would say like future thoughts and plans and goals, like your values, what's important to you, I would say too, is part of your intellectual identity. I love these moving hands. It's changing my life. So miss, they're not done with this one, right? But we're going to jump to the next one.
You have until, is it next week, Miss?
Yes, we're just starting today. You're going to post that you began the brainstorm, and then you have till Wednesday to like fill up the page. So when you're ready, we're going to jump to the next one. Everyone whose camera isn't on, it's not too late to turn that camera on. Tilt your laptop down and pour your internal identities out onto the page. I'm going to start you on another song, miss.
Okay. All right, so we're moving on to our spiritual identity. And when we say spiritual, you don't have to have a religion. Like not believing in like a god is your spiritual identity. So it can be like actual spiritual, like some people believe in like spirits. Um and like you can like describe any higher power you believe in. So what do you think about other religions? Miss, I can't hear the music. I love listening to songs. um, what do you think about the idea of God?
And I would say too, like, where does your ideas about something bigger than us come from? Like a certain family member?
Yeah, were you like raised in the church? Or maybe you were raised out of it and you found religion, or you're raised in it and you decided you don't agree with that? What do you think about truth and religion? Do you believe everything that you hear?
Now, Miss, if I feel closer to something larger than myself when I'm like on a mountain or I'm with a tree, is that part of my spiritual identity?
Yeah. So like where do you feel closer to a higher power? Maybe like when you're in the ocean? Or like, yeah, I think nature is a huge part of like how people feel like they can feel closer to something. Like we can't describe it, but we feel like it's bigger than us.
Dante defines God as like absolute goodness, total goodness. Everything is good. Like, do you have memories of total goodness and light and perfection? Like, where are you when you feel complete? Where are you when you feel whole? While you're running on the football field? Where do you feel the most goodness? Total goodness. Is your church when you're with your family? Sorry, Miss. I just feel like this one's extra complicated.
Thank you. Do you ever have any doubts or questions? And you can write about memories that you have related to religion.
Or goodness. Or total bliss, total happiness. Sam had his camera on and now it's off. On the outside, you want to write, start to think like, well, what might you include in your box to represent your spiritual identity, whether that's a Bible or a leaf or a tree branch. What things and objects? Maybe it's a picture of a certain person. So make a list of those things on the outside. Look at you, Miss. You're doing this. Everybody's doing this.
So much writing going on. I love it.
I know. But like you'll have a good box. If you have 4 good bubble mats, you'll have like your identity box will go hard. All right, I'm going to start the next song. This is the most popular one by far. So I said in a different order, but if you guys are ready, jump to this one. Emotional identity. You're on, Miss.
Dun, dun, dun. So, what emotions do you feel like every day on a regular basis? Like, I think it's interesting to think about like how do you feel when you wake up? Are you happy? Are you like, oh, another day of classes? Why do you feel these emotions? Who do you like? Who do you love? You can make like a whole list of people, like important people in your life, and like why they make you feel that way. What helps you get in touch with your emotions? Like, that'll touch me something really powerful. What gives you time to just sit and reflect? Music, art, your visual journal, writing? How does AJR make you feel? What makes you feel safe? What makes you feel happy and why? What makes you feel sad? And what makes you feel afraid and why? Like what makes you doubt things? What makes you angry and why? And all of these again on the outside circle, you can start writing about the frame of reference. Like, what are the symbols that you can use to, especially for emotions? I feel like emotions are things that's like harder to put into like objects.
Say photographs of people, the people that we love, the people that we like, the people that we resent. Who are those people? There's a fine line between love and hate. Who do you feel things for, whether it's good or bad? Who do you love so much that it hurts? Who do you miss? Someone can be in your identity box even though they're not here on earth anymore. They're still in your box. They're in you. So maybe think of like a particular photo that's really important, that you really need, like in the center of your box. Make a list of all those things that you need to find on the outside. And you can email them to me and I'll try to print them out for you next week. My AJR on Monday. So maybe make a list of photos you need me to print. Maybe we can mail them out to you. I don't know. We'll see. I'll try my best. But yeah, make a list of all those things on the outside that could represent your emotional. And is this the beginning, Miss?
Yeah, these are just like the first steps to starting to think about all of these things, all of your different identities.
all of your different layers. There's so much beauty in all of these feelings. And there's so much humanity. We're all so much similar than we realize. All right, let's close it out with
Okay.
physical identity.
So for physical identity, what do you think about your physical self? Like, what do you think about your body?
What do you really think when you look in the mirror? Be honest. Face that.
You can describe your appearance. Like, what do your arms, your legs, your eyes, your hair, your smile, your hands look like? And does that remind you of anyone in your family? Like, do you think you get like your eyes from your mom? What does your body say about you?
So this is how I feel about my body, right, miss? It's not what
Yeah.
other people think. This is like how I really feel about my whole physical. Okay.
Mhm. Just you. No one else's assumptions. What does your appearance represent to you? Like, do you feel strong and athletic? Do you feel fragile? When do you feel the most proud about your body? When do you feel the strongest?
I just want to say all teenagers struggle with how they see their body. Everyone. And like when you start to face it, own it, figure out how you want to see yourself in a different light, like that's the beginning to being free. So really be honest with yourself. What do you need to leave behind? That's like the first path to self-love. Love yourself. Life is short. Don't waste time hating how you look. Easier said than done. So face it in your identity box. I love that song. So 80s or early 90s, whatever.
And for your frame of reference, what are you planning on using? Like visual metaphors or symbols, a picture of yourself?
Any goals? How do you want to see yourself in the future? So much of this is about creating your life plan. How do you see yourself now? How do you want to see yourself in the future? Baby, hold on. Guys, we Miss Hibbler and I should do a podcast, huh? I know, it's true.